Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to Skandasana, aka in English, side lunge tutorial. If you've taken pretty much any of my classes, you have very likely come across Skandasana in those classes. I find it to be one of the best ways to keep the mobility of the knees, as well as to open the hips, as well as simply to transition between postures. Maybe we are going from one side to the other side. It's nice for mandala practices. I love Skandasana. I think it's one of the most useful asanas that we have in modern yoga. So I thought, you know what, I should probably teach it because I put it in all my classes and I don't really talk about how to do it. So here we are. So if you have quite open hips, quite mobile knees, this pose is going to be significantly easier, right? Because when our hips are open, our knees can bend quite far, then our butt can be almost touching the floor here. We're not really having to use that much strength in the legs. However, if we have less mobility in our knees and our hips, then it gets a little bit trickier. So we want to always make sure that we have the heel down of the foot that's on the floor, right? Sometimes when we try to bring our hips lower, then maybe the heel's going to want to come up for whatever reason in your body. So we want to make sure that it stays there. So wherever that means that you need to be with your hips from here, that's where you should be, okay? So just try practicing, keeping the heel down, having the whole foot down. It's turned out slightly, not completely. It's turned out about 45 degrees. See where then your hips can go to with that foot turned out with the heel down. And just practice, kind of going back and forth, just seeing how it feels to keep the heel down, okay? If occasionally it's gonna wanna come up in the classes, if you're tired and you're like, oh my gosh, please, I just wanna bring my hips down and lift my heel up. I mean, you're probably not going to hurt yourself, but you're going to get more out of the posture and you're going to be able to eventually go deeper if you do practice keeping the heel down here. Yeah, so that's kind of the basics, right? So our planted foot is somewhere between 90 degrees and, wait, this would be 0. It's somewhere between here and here, right? Depending on our flexibility. If we have a little bit less flexibility, it might be in a little bit more, right? If we have more, it might go all the way, right? So again, play around, see what feels right for you. Just really try and make sure that you have the heel down, okay? I'm going to sit for a second. And so now I want to talk about transitions because that is one of the, well, there's a lot of useful things about Skandasana, but one of the useful things is being able to transition into it, out of it, use it between postures, and open up more possibilities for the direction that your practices and your classes can go. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit and then we're gonna go over some fun sequencing stuff. All right, so one of the first places that you probably see Skandasana in my classes is coming from low lunge. This is one of the transitions that I use the most, is simply going from our low lunge and then rotating into Skandasana. And then generally I work it out going back and forth. I just think it's like magic. It just really opens up the hips and just really prepares us to go deeper in so many ways in the practice. Okay, so that's one of the most basic, right, transitions. Here we can be like in maybe a half moon or something, and then transition into Skandasana. And then if we want to go to the other side of the mat, all we need to do is come to Skanda on the other side. Then, maybe we want to transition into a low lunge on the other side. All we need to do is rotate, right? And then we can come up, we can come start doing things on the other side, right? So it's really nice for mandala classes. Another thing that I will use it for a lot is if I want to go from standing down to seated. So, for example, if we are in like a warrior two, right? Or any kind of, maybe sometimes we're in half moon, we're in something that's standing, right? And then we can just go from warrior two, and all we need to do is rotate our back foot and then come onto that foot, and then we come down into Skandasana, and then again, continue from there. Coming out of it, we can sit, right? And then we can do something, we can either bring both legs out, right? We can start stretching here, we can sit, and we can go into some kind of Janu Shirshasana or some kind of other, folding, hip opening, seated position, which is really nice. And then we could even go back to Skanda and then keep going from there, right? So these are just a few ideas that I want to throw out. You're going to find all of these things in my classes anyway, but just for those people who are more intermediate or advanced practitioners or who are teachers, I just want to sprinkle in a couple sequencing suggestions there. So now let's go over the various levels. Yeah. So if we have less flexibility, we're going to start with level 1. So maybe level 1, we have our hands down. Yeah. And we're like, okay, it is just too much on my legs to be lifting, and that's fine, right? To have the hands down. So level 1, hands are down, and we are moving in the direction of bringing the hips down. We're making sure that that heel is down, right? Okay, so level 1, we can even use our hands to come back and forth. And we're still getting into those hips. We are moving in the direction of level 2, which will then be, right, to have our hands at heart center. I need to drop down. My legs are tired. Woo. So level 2, hands are together. We are wherever we can be in level 2. Okay? Level 3. Let's open the arms. And so now we're going to be pulling back our knee even more and opening those hips even more. Okay, so for level 3, we could take the left hand out to the side here if we're on the left side, and then we can reach our right hand up. So then we're using our left hand, pulling back on the left knee, looking up towards the right hand. Okay, so we can try the other side. Take the right hand out, push it against the right knee, and reach up with the left hand. Okay, so again, play around, see how you can be using your arm to open the knee more, to open the hips more. Push the knee back to open the hips more. Yeah? All right, level 4 is with the bind. So, to bind, we take the left hand, and again, we're going to be pushing back with the left hand, but then we're going to allow the hand to come all the way back behind us, and we're going to take the right hand and we're going to bring it down until our right wrist reaches the left hand, and grab a hold using the left to grab. So a nice way to remember it, the wrapper is the grabber, right? So the left one is wrapping around the left leg, which means that it's then grabbing the right wrist. And so now we're also opening our shoulders, right? So we want to then take the right shoulder from here and pull it back and then look up here. Yeah? So now we're also kind of getting a little bit more into the other hip as well. Yeah? And so let's try that on the other side. Let's use the right arm to wrap, right? So wrap, wrap, wrap. Reach the left wrist into the right hand, and then pull back the left shoulder, and then look up towards the ceiling. Yeah? So that is our Skandasana tutorial. I'm again going to sit down. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments. And I hope this was useful. I hope that you can take some of the information and apply it when you are both taking and or teaching classes. All right. Thank you for being here with me, for trusting me and allowing me to guide you. And I will see you in the next class with so much love. Namaste.